Hello, folks. This is 999 Show Art. We're doing art right now. I worked on this mask last night. I painted some layers down, and then before I started, I added some gel medium onto this and just a thin layer of cadmium red. And so I'm going to start out with just using those two colors of titanium white and cadmium red, and I'm going to add those color, and I have this color which is yellow ochre. And the reason that's in the tube like that is because hi Ange, I was just thinking about you, because you had those words, consistency and intention, and I think I'm going to adopt those words for me for this year too, because of course when you said that on your show, my immediate thought was chaos, and what was the words of 2025 going to be? Just massive chaos. So you got the notification. Good. I was like trying to schedule it, but then I just realized I was trying to schedule it in the past. And so I have I made this paper mache mask, I think in September, and it's been sitting for a while. I still not sure what I want to do with it, but we're just gonna add some thin layers of paint onto it till I get the desired shade that I want. I'm just probably gonna do one layer of paint on here, and then I'm gonna put it aside, and then I'm gonna pick up one of those underpainted painting things, and just in case my sister comes by before she takes this, we have Christmas. I need to finish my sister's Christmas present, and so I think I'm going to work on that tonight too. So, yeah, consistency and intention, because I'm started a new a second channel. I haven't opened it up for business yet, but I might. Okay. My self depreciation named the channel after somebody who depreciates themselves. I have another channel name. Maybe I should go for the more positive name. Should I? I'll show you. I'll show it to you. I have well, actually, it was like just as a practice channel, but maybe I should just, instead of being a practice channel, I should just go for it and have it be the channel that I was thinking about all along. What do you think about that? I have I just do a practice channel to do practice readings, or just go for it and name it the name that I wanted to name it, the name I came up with like 6-7 months ago, because I came up with a new channel name 6-7 months ago, and I'm not going to say what it is, but I think what I will do is I might do that. And this is like a strawberry color, kind of adding a strawberry color. So I should just go for it and do the name I came up with. But see, I was thinking about doing that and opening up a brand new, because you can only like add so many channels on your phone number per year. And so far I have 3 channels attached to my phone number. And I'm kind of loath to Yeah. Well, I will go for it with the practice channel at least, but I might just um. Okay, so what my reservations about doing that is that was the first channel that I ever opened up on YouTube, and I have everything on it. You know, everything is attached to that channel, like all the movies that I bought. You know, for through Google. There's like 100 of them there. Yeah, yeah, you can. There's a limit. There's two. You can do two per year on a phone number, and that's what two per year. And so I didn't. I don't know that I. I mean, since these are older channels and they exist already, and so like I had made all the I made all the videos on it private just very recently, and so but, you know, I kind of wanted, you know, I like this handle, some random idiot on YouTube, you know. I really, really like that. And so this is, you know, so I go to the, you know, that's my channel, but it had a different name before. And so if I go switch account to the other channel, which I opened this one up in 2016, and it can I just go to the channel? And so this one has it devolved really quickly. I feel like this is my wall of shame, my my videos of walls. Okay, so these are okay. So this is like a museum of videos that sucked. The videos that sucked that I did from 2016 to 2020. And so I have look at um like my early self portrait, making and so forth. And so anyways, that just chased everybody off. Yeah, yeah, you can have more than one channel, all right. And this is cadmium red and titanium white. And so I'm just adding a thin layers of this. I'm going to put mixed in with this. Well, don't you know there? You know your friend there, Spiritual Rain. She has 4 channels. You know, uh, she's out there, what, on the East Coast, or maybe she's over there. And this one is going to be kind of an orangey tone. I'm going to go back and add this sort of an orangey tone and add a lot more white to it. So it's kind of looks like watermelon or strawberry. But yeah, Spiritual Rain, who has, yeah, 4 channels. A cooking channel, an art channel, a kids art channel, and her main one. I think that 3 of them are monetized. I think that's what she said. I'm going to add some gel medium into this mixture here. And put that in there. So thin layers of color. Thin layers of color. So that you can optically see all of them in here. Oh, one of my lights just burned out, and I'm going to change that out. I'm prepared for this. And I am prepared for this. I have enough light for like maybe 90 minutes of live streams now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they are attached to your phone number because that's how you you have you can have a separate email address for each one, but they're attached to your phone number because that's the only way you can do a two-step authentication to lock down your phones, and you lock down your accounts by adding all those security measures in place. And so you know, a few years ago they had which I didn't I wanted to go with that, where they have an actual physical key that you put into a USB that has your signature on it. So, these are just, I haven't seen that they've really done that for a few years, but that was something that they were toying with and trying to make your computer more secure and less, and more, as close to hack proof as possible. And so we're gonna get this and we'll just let it dry naturally. Huh. I wonder what that message says. It's probably not worth looking at, so probably like a troll message. I don't really need to subject myself to comments like that, so. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, Robbie, okay. I don't know what he said. Probably something rude. Don't need to have that here. If it's like commentary when I'm playing a game, okay. I'm going to set this aside and let that dry, and we're going to go move on to that other thing that I talked about. And where is that underpainting? I'm going to go in, and I'm going to be working on my sister's, I think I'm going to use this one. I have two of these. Let's see, which one is going to work better for tomorrow's painting? I think I'm going to use this one, and we're going to add in, so we're going to add in, I need the Zilron Crimson. So we're going to do this one right out of memory. You know what, I sold a painting last weekend, just right after, I'm going to work on the skyline, and so with this one, we're going to work right out of memory. And so we're going to need this color in it. This color. Sometimes with those masks, I just don't know what to do. I have I've been staring at that mask for months, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it, because that's like one of the things that you do when you're like trying to figure crap out is. So I'm gonna go, since these colors dry really fast, I'm just gonna start with the limited number. Limited a limited palette. And so I'm going to put in some white on here, but it's got some red because I don't really want things to... I got to see, where is my skyline going to be? I think we might come in and do some masking tape on it to get to where I think it needs to go. Intention and consistency. Because see, last year the words for me was temperance, and so self-control, and that was the word that T and Tarot came up for me that I needed to really really work on. Was let's see, if is that even? Is that even here? Let me just see if we use a... It's even enough. I need a little bit more here. So we're just doing a seascape design here. So if I talk about, I know I've talked about this as far as techniques are concerned, is that repainting the same images over and over again is... Hi Thomas, welcome Thomas. And so yeah, I'm gonna just kind of, I need some plain white. I need a different... yeah, we'll use a couple different brushes here. And I'm going to take this one, well, let's just see. We're just going to put this in here. I do have my hair dryer plugged in, so we're going to come up with some white. So most likely we will be just doing the skyline here because I have only 90 minutes of light on my lights, on my battery lights. Maybe upwards of 2 hours, but I don't know if I can sit for 2 hours. So, and did I mention that I was going to be, I'm venturing into watercolors as well? You know, because I've been kind of doing watercolors already, as far as in the line of I've been doing them anyway with the thinning, because you can thin your you can thin your acrylic paints down to the point where they behave like watercolors. And I got hair all over this tabletop because my hair was really long, and then I was like shedding too much. And there we go. We're just gonna start in here. This is where the sun is gonna go, and it's gonna be a splotch of color. We'll just kind of pull this all the way across, and we're gonna be doing essentially in the skyline. It's gonna be, this is a Zilron Crimson, and we're not gonna add any blue to anything until this stuff dries, because you know we add well, we can add blue in there and we'll get some purple, but one thing I don't want in the sky is I don't want a green sky. And so let's just add some of this color in here. It's really kind of pinky, but we'll be adding thin layers of color till we get the desired the desired color over everything. And just layer by layer by layer, the color will come up to the right place. So this is how the masters painted in the past. And there is a great show I saw over the summer on it was on PBS, and it was about this guy who set out. He was a master painter. I mean, a master painter, and he set out on this mission to paint the Mona Lisa, to repaint it, to paint the Mona Lisa, and he wanted to do it like a month. Well, needless to say, it didn't happen. But he went through the process of mixing his own paints, making his own pigments, and he painted on a board. Which I will add that painting on boards is your best way to do it, rather than on paper. Of course, because when you paint on boards don't buckle. Paper buckles. Boards don't buckle. And so the last thing you really want is for your your painting to buckle. And acrylics, now he was painting his in oils, and so, but they talked about thin layers of paint, just thin layers of transparent paint, and I've talked about how to do transparent paint here, and we'll go over it again on how to do transparent paint right now. So in case you just don't want to go back to those past live streams where I made transparent paint. And so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to make this is sort of, will be an off, like an orangey color. So it's got a little bit of a tinge of red in that white there. And so we're going to make this, and this is a reflex yellow. It's and I'm going to bring this right up to transparent. And I think I'm going to thin it down some more with my gel medium, or actually no, I'm going to use glazing fluid. And I'm using all with the exception of, no, I'm using all golden products on this. So these are all professional grade paints with the exception of this. I do not have this in golden. I only have that in Amsterdam, which is a student grade paint. So everything in this painting is going to be done with professional grade paints with the exception of that color there. And I'm going to show you how so this is how you test okay, this is how you test for your consistency to see if it is transparent. So I'm painting this color right over the top of this Roots and Waves, and Roots and Waves is my moderator tonight, and she did a fantastic show earlier today and talking about words and intentions, and wanting to, for 2025, to have more intention and more consistency in her actions. And I thought I would adopt those words too, because I really need to do that. And so you can see how transparent the paint is. You can see right through it. And so that is what I'm adding on here. I'm going to add that on in this area over here. Yes, they absolutely did resonate with me. Because I need to work on my diet. just like you said. I mean, I've been working on that, and be more conscious. I need to exercise more. I need to lower my cholesterol down. So I'm going to put this on here and see how it looks when we're looking through the underpainting. And you can see down into this. You can see down beyond there, and you can see into there. And you can see that tone, that color. We're going to do this again, and I'm going to have to hit this with the hair dryer right now before I add any new layers. And so I'm going to just mute this so I don't blast your ears out, and turn on hot. And I don't want to turn things to mud, because that's one of the things is when you're doing thin layers, it is easy to, if you put too many layers of transparent color together at one time, everything will turn to mud, and it'll defeat the purpose of what we're doing. And so I'm going to mute the camera and start the hair dryer. All right, there we go. There we go. That chased everybody away. I know. We have some dead air going on there. All right, so now we are going to do... We're still working on this area. So I want to do a thin layer of white. A thin layer of white over that. So one of the things is, because it's, it seems like, okay, skies are blue, and I'm starting from green. But actually, this underpainting has 4 different colors in it. It started out with, it was a warm color, followed by a cool color, followed by a warm color, followed by a cool color. And so so what I'm going to do now is do a thin layer of white. I'm going to run, and I'm going to get my, just get some water. I'm going to put some water in here. I'm going to thin this white out, the titanium white, and I'm adding more glazing fluid. So we are just using the glazing fluid. And what the glazing fluid, one of the things that it does is that it does slow the drying down, because so your acrylics dry super fast, and so you want to still be able to work it. So that's why it's to help mimic oil paints, and that's kind of what you're mimicking how oil paints behave, and you're using these products in order to do that. So we had, so as you can see, you can't really see the underpainting down there, but when you see the overall, you will see that you'll see all those layers poking through. And that can give almost like a holographic effect. And especially if you use something like clayboard, if you're painting on something like clayboard versus canvas board, and clayboard is more, I have an example of clayboard over here. This is gesso board. The gesso board is the same. this is gesso board, and using this substance here to paint on, because it's nice because the paint doesn't buckle, and the paint doesn't buckle on there, and you can push a lot of pigment onto it. And so here we are. We've added these layers here, and then I'm going to add some more of the yellow. I want this just a couple different zones in here that are white, but we're going to be bringing, I'm going to put in red right into this zone. I'm going to do that right next. So I got another brush, and we'll put this brush over here, and I might do, well, let's do a shade of the Aziron Crimson mixed with Cadmium Red. I'm going to put that down. Then I'm going to put, then on top of that, I'm going to add this color over here, which is the yellow ochre. So it'll get kind of we're just really trying to achieve what a sunset looks like, and I'm not using a reference photo. I'm just going right out of my imagination, and that's actually a really important exercise, is to go out of your imagination. Kind of like, I've been going through Arthur Edward Waite's pictorial tarot book, and I want this color to be thinner. Let's do it. Let's do the transparency test here. And I have it, and so I'm going through it in the audio form, and so you just imagine your cards. And so, yeah, it's pretty transparent. And you're painting over that yellow there. And so it has, what it achieves here is an optical orange. You see that? You get optical orange because you are changing the shade by just adding these individual colors down on it. And I'm just going to put this right in here. Right in here, right on the horizon line. Just some different textures and different layers. And I think I want to, while I'm here, I think I'm going to start and do, I'm going to be adding into this some primary cyan, but I might, do I have that? No. I'm going to do primary cyan, so just a little bit. I don't really want to use too much blue at this stage of the game. So we're going to put, because I don't use very much of it, and it ends up drying on me, and then, I feel like I'm wasting paint, and I really don't like that wasting paint kind of a feel. So we're going to be bringing this over here, and I'm going to be making that, adding the Aziron Crimson to this, and I want to make a shade of, like a purpley shade, kind of a real dark gray or whatever. And so I'm going to want to add some gray into the sky as well. But we're going to start here with this. And now this does not look like a sky color. And so we look at it here, and you can see here, my intention just was painted over, so I need to add more water to this to thin it down, because I've taken two opaque paints and putting them together. I need to make them transparent. And so we will add some more glazing fluid. Like that. and turn it into a thinner color, much thinner color. And let's just take a look. We'll test it. And it's more transparent now, more transparent. And there we go. So that's acceptable. So I'm gonna put some of that in here, sort of a grayish color. I'm gonna put that all the way up here on the top. We'll add into it. We have it's nice grapey color. So we're just doing this while the other paint is drying, and it's kind of up on the top, so it's more nighttime. So this is like a color that you might use for making nighttime scenes, and you can actually still see the underpainting right under it here too. If you look really close, it's all there. If I had another flashlight, I could shine that in there really bright, but we can look at it. You can see it's all there. All those layers are there as well. And that's what we want. We want all these layers to be represented here. So you can see them all if you just look close enough. All right, now we're going to come back in and I'm going to go to the other brush. And like I said, I was going to come in and use some of this yellow ochre, because we want it to get it, because this yellow ochre is good for getting those sky colors and the earth tones. And now granted, you can mix this yourself from primary yellow and red, and adding a little white to it. You can mix it down yourself. So but for expediency, we're just not going to do that. We are, for expediency's sake, we are going to be just taking something right out of the tube, and it's mixed right. So let's just take a look at it here. So this was just that mixed with glazing fluid, and testing it out. Looking good. Okay. I'm going to put this right up here. Coming down here. Down on the horizon, so it has that now, because I'm doing all this multitasking here and talking while I'm doing this, this is a time when you can really mess things up. And by doing this is not, of course, this is not a natural thing. It would be the equivalent of this would be you are talking on the telephone and you are trying to do a painting at the same time, and that's kind of, I've done that before too, and people I talk to, they says, "Are you high, Bill? What's going on with you? What's going on?" And I said, "Oh, I'm painting while I'm talking to you on the telephone, and you seem so distracted." So I put this color down in here. The danger here is that color can rub right off. And actually it did. You can look at here. This was too wet, and I pulled that over that spot, and I pulled the color right off of it. But we're at this stage, and so at this stage is not a real big issue. So now I'm going to go back. Actually, I'm going to go back in here and I clean the brush off. Because what I have is two things of water right over here. I have a semi-clean water and a dirty water. I'll move that a little closer. So what I'm using tool-wise is I'm using water and glazing fluid. And I'm going to go back in with my glazing fluid and put that down here because I don't want any of this stuff to go to waste. And we're going to go back in with that yellow. And I'm going to put that yellow in this spot. And so this is what, the third time I put yellow in this spot. So that's what we're going to be doing. I want to get that in there. And then I'm going to start working on here, and we're going to make those colors lighter. So we have a purple, and then I'm going to do some lighter shades of things. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And I need some more water in here because this is kind of this ultra bright, this reflex yellow. It really helps to mimic the sun more so than other colors. And so we're not going to have any particular point in the sky where it looks like there's a point there. This is just going to be that sunset where there is just these swaths of color, swaths of, I'm not pronouncing that right, am I? That SWATH, that there are these swath of color. What's wrong with my tongue? Anyways, so that, see how that looks, how that looks a little bit better now. We've added these layers of colors down, and then it has a more body to it, rather than just adding one layer of color and going for it from there. So that's the value of this method, is that you can make that you can get a more professional a more quality paint. I'm not going to say professional because I don't really know what that means. Yeah, you use professional grade paints, yes, but this here is actually a student grade paint. Amsterdam is the brand name of it. That's only for the reflex yellow, and that's, I like this color a lot. It's already it is a transparent color, but all the stuff has rubbed off on it. And so, and it's like I've showed, we have that test to test it, and you paint that over there, and you see all those colors kind of, and actually kind of making this more like a pastel when I put it over that purple. Adding these colors down on here. You can see all the colors there, all of them through there, and that's that effect here. I'm going to put it up over here, over the red. I'm getting that orangey color, that really nice orangey color. I'm going to put it over here. It's pasteled it out a bit, but we're going to add that shade back over the top of it. Kind of adds it all in here. I need to clean that brush off because it's added that purple into it. We don't want that. There's no TH in swatch. Okay, that's what it is, swatch. trying to visualize the color there. Visualize the word. Yeah, which means my mom is really good at butchering words and things, and so when in at 85, or she's almost 85, that she butchers words and misremembers things. Well, she always did that, so that's like, you know, it's just a little bit more accelerated at 84 and a half, 84 and 3/4, because hello, Crazy Anders, welcome. Oh no, it's okay. Oh, you're going to sleep. Oh, it's so always such a pleasure to have you here, Ange. I really appreciate you. I did actually have some new decks that came. I'm not going to show them here. I'm going to show them on the other channel. This is a Mother Mary Oracle deck. And I got one of these that, and of course, everyone has seen this one. This is your standard Rider weight. And I'm thinking that it looks comparable to, I might open that one up, because I think it looks really comparable to the Radiant, I believe. Yeah. So this is my Christmas present. So these are the only 2025 decks I'm going to get. There's two more that are, one more that are coming, but the other one that's coming is one that it's just a pocket edition of the Aquarian, because I really like that Aquarian one. But we'll just open this one up, and I want to see. And when you're talking about the U.S. Games things, and because I pre-ordered for, I think 3 or 4 U.S. Games. No, I think it was just one U.S. game deck, and yeah, it's got that classic back on it, and the that one, and then it was, they were all, but it wasn't just U.S. Games, it was U.S. Games, and it was this one. No, yeah, it was 2 U.S. Games. It was this one here, and this one was delayed out. I pre-ordered this one like, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I pre-ordered both of these things like 6 months ago, and they came like at the end of November. They were supposed to come at the end of October, but they came at the end of November. And so let's just open this thing up. I just want to see if those colors are like or more like the Radiant. I'm not doing a flip through or anything like that, but that's that. I like the pocket size one the best. They're easier to shuffle and everything. So yeah, those colors like that. Yeah, they're really vibrant. Yeah. So this one is equivalent, is very more similar to the Radiant then. Did it have 2 Fools? Why was the Fool clear over there? Oh, it's at the end. That's right, because that's the spot where the Fools are at. Because in the Pictorial Tarot book by A.E. Waite, he starts not with the Fool, but he starts with the Magician as the number 1 card, and so it's got these gray tones here like that. Yeah, I'm glad that I got this one. I like those colors. And let me see. I have the Radiant right over here. And there's that Radiant Fool. And So if we look at the Empress card, I mean, they're similar. Similar, yes. This still my favorite deck. But yeah. Anyways, here we go. And I think that because the Radiant has more reddish tones in it. Yeah, you can see that with this guy. This has more. This color is that color. That's the color that it has in the sky, is the yellow ochre here. And this is just primary yellow. But yeah, anyways. And it's got that classic back on it. And a perfect show deck for YouTube. Okay, well, I'm going to put that back. Though I took the tarot out of the channel name, it's still in my handle name. And so my handle is still the same. It's the 999, and these are all separated by dashes. The 999 ASMR Tarot Art Show. And so that's what my handle is for this channel. And so I'll just write that down. The handle for this channel is at THE, which is the original channel. The original channel name was the 999 show, but then I added the 999 ASMR Tarot Art Show. So that's what my handle is, and so it is staying the same, because so we are doing tarot, we're doing art, and we're doing other random things, and that's what we're doing here. Because the art, some of the art that we're going to be doing is making a deck, and I have these little cards. I'm going to do something, and I'm going to round those corners up, and I have a mushroom stencil that I'm going to be adding to it, and so anyway, there we go. And so Anne has to leave and go to sleep because it is way super late on the eastern seaboard, clear over there by Greenland. And let's just put some of this up here, up there. We're going to put that up here a little bit. And so hopefully it won't turn green, but we'll let it dry really good. And then it won't turn green when we add some blue up in there, or some red. So if we add some red, it'll turn it kind of orangey. And then if we add some blue on it, and then it won't. It'll be some kind of an orangey kind of a tone. But I want to get this over here just a little bit more yellowy here. And so I'm going to add on to it just a bit more of a heavier body, a more opaque layer of paint, even though this is already a transparent paint, but nevertheless we're going to be putting it in here. And I want to come and actually get some white in here, but just building building the sky of your imagination. And so that's probably all. I've used up most of this, used it up out here, and so that's probably all of that I'm going to use here. This is kind of wet here, and so that's sticky. I'm going to come now and do the hair dryer once again. And Crazy Ender, I'm glad that you made it. And so I'm going to hit the hair dryer, but I'm not going to blast your ears out. That could have been a disaster. That could have been a disaster. It can completely ruin my painting that way, which is something I'm trying to avoid, ruining my painting. Okay, it's still pretty wet. Still pretty wet there. So I'm going to hit that again. Turn the heat up to hot, and then we will just hit it again here. And so, in case you just didn't know, the purpose of doing this, what makes painting with thin layers of transparent color work best is that you apply each layer of paint after the previous layer has dried completely. And so it's dried. It's not completely dried, but it's dried enough. And so because you really want to gain, because when let's say you take a look at a picture of the sky, I'm going to go into my tablet here and I'm going to show you a picture of skies and how it's really hard to achieve that realism is really kind of hard to achieve, but we're not really even trying for realism here. And we're not really trying for realism. Let's say this is a picture a friend of mine took of Arizona recently, but you can kind of see here that there are all these different colors in the sky. You have this sort of a light blue all the way down to that yellow ochre and a little bit of red, a touch of red here. But you can look through it and you can see all the layers in there, and that's kind of what you're trying to mimic, all these multiple. Now, so like when I first started painting, now this one I painted on poker cards, but it's an interesting painting, but with the transparencies and everything. And I did all that by accident. I didn't know anything about transparent colors at that time in my life. This one is just a singular layer of paint. This is one of the first times I ever tried doing a self-portrait, which was like 2017. But no underpainting. You can see right through the paint. Now, if we just take blue sky, I'm not like just trying to show myself off here. I'm just using that as this blue sky. I've never been able to achieve that color before. I've tried it multiple times. I'm gonna just cover up my face here, and but trying to achieve that color. And so my guess is that this underpainting method is the only way to achieve that color. I think I go down. I know I have some more. I have some other ones. So let's come back out and see if we can get the other ones, the other images, just as a means to demonstrate. Oh, that's right, because those ones came out of Facebook. And where are the other ones? Oh, that's why, because they're not in this file. Okay, because they're on my community page over here on the 999 show, not on. And so if I go into the history, I'm just losing you guys here. This is one of my my channels, my museum of videos that suck. So this is my when you start out doing YouTube, you end up all of your videos end up sucking bad, and so it takes a long time to figure out. So like this one here, it's just like opaque colors, and your videos are terrible for the first 100 videos you do, and I've done more than 100 videos, and I still feel like I'm. Where is it? That's right. I want to go into my history, and yeah, now you can see what kind of YouTube I watch. The YouTube I watch. I think I have. Okay, let me go to my channel and go to the community page. And so we're going to be tomorrow night. We're going to be working on. We're going to be working on some sky images like this. This is the ones I'm talking about. This is what I'm going to be working on tomorrow night. I have another one of these underpaintings, and I want to try see if I can do this. These colors in here are just fantastic, just beautiful. And but you can you look into the sky here, and like I'm saying, is that there are all these colors that are in it. And that's what the beauty of the thin layers of transparent color, because right here it's sort of a bluish gray here, and the sky is bluish gray, except it has this overtones in there of the big yellow sun. And so over here we have a brightness. Now I think I would need to add like I said, I wasn't going to be adding too much white here, but maybe we will. Just a little white spot right there where where the sun is. And so yeah. Anyways, that just gave this a chance to dry here a little bit. And we're gonna change gears now. Going back to, and I'm using watercolor brushes tonight in this because they soak up a lot more pigments and so forth. You don't necessarily have to use watercolor. When I go down to the thinner, the more details, then we're going to switch over to this brush. But you're not going to see that tonight because we're just going to be doing this for like another 30 minutes because that's how much light I have left on my rechargeable lights. And so I'm going to do a thin layer of this Zilron Crimson. I'm just going to add it right on top of this this purpley color that I had made previously. And so we're going to thin it out with this glazing fluid, which is also a drying, it extends the drying time out. And I'm going to put in this, and we're going to thin it out. Thin layer, and I'm going to put some of this down on back on the horizon line too, mostly up here. But so we're going to go and just check for consistency of how thin the paint is. Now this is semi-transparent. It's transparent, but not transparent enough. I want to make it more transparent. We'll add more water. And so this has a nice raspberry-like coloring to it. And so this next swath of it is still a little bit more opaque than I want. And I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. Make it more opaque. And there we go. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So you have to remember that. That's one of the things techniques that if you want to try to do this at home, that you do that. And so this color here is more like raspberry. And we're going over those yellows, and it gets a more of an optical orange. And that's the word that we're using here. This is an optical orange. Now it's kind of pulling up on the surface, which means that pretty much I'm almost done for tonight, and that I'm not going to be doing too much more on this one. I'm going to put this in over here because I'm going to let that, I'm not going to dry that with the hair dryer because it's just going to blow off. But this is getting some interesting color textures here, and the way that water is pooling up on the surface. And I'm kind of liking that because it's kind of like maybe mimicking what the randomness of what clouds might be like in that area. I'm going to put this down in here, coming down there, and down on the horizon. Just a bit of red. So I'm probably not going to show you how I paint this whole thing. But I'm probably going to paint it off camera tomorrow. Like I say, this is a gift for my sister. And I need my full concentration in order to get it to be worked into how I want it to work it. And so we got it there. I don't think I want to do too much more there. It's going to kind of destroy it here. But I think I'm going to do is, before I close here, I'm going to do a bit more of I might do just a layer of transparent white. Really thin layer of transparent white. I got this right over here. I don't want to add too much of that red in there. So it's kind of pinky now. And I really don't want it to be pinky. So I'm just going to grab some white right out of the tube. Just because you have a palette and you're using a palette doesn't mean you can't do this. And this is a legitimate thing to do. And what's going on here? So it's pooling over there, and so I'm gonna pull the tube. I'm kind of babbling here. Am I stuttering, babbling here? Pulling the paint directly out of the tube. And I'm going to add it into this area up here. So you might think those are your clouds coming in. And that's kind of really ultra bright. And maybe a little spot in over here where it's ultra bright, where the sun might be. Okay. So you can see how this can shape up. Though, granted, putting this here was a bit premature, but it's okay because I'm going to be adding a lot more layers of color onto this tomorrow. And so at this next stage, we're going to go back in to this yellow ochre, and I want to add that a thinner layer of this on here. So if you're just like watching in and looking in, what do you think so far? You can leave a if you're watching this on the playback, you can tell me what you think of the painting so far at this time. I got these buttons to push. I'm really trying to hit that 1,000 mark. And so tomorrow night it's going to be more art, and then on Sunday I'm going to try something different. Something I'm going to call after church chat. The after church chat. And we're going to put this in here, and this one kind of give it an optical orange. It's kind of pinky here. I'm not so sure I like it that pinky colors, but we're trying to achieve optical orange. Once it dries more fully, it'll look much, much different than it does now. There we go. And you can also see when you start, things just start coming together when you get those layers on, and you adding more of those layers, and everything will start to come together. It's kind of quiet. It's probably, I need to go sit on the exercise bike again. I'm going to go into this area here and add that color in over here. Get that optical orangey look like you have in the sky. Yeah, so please feel free to come into the chat and say hello, and to say what you think so far. And I'm an hour and 12 minutes into this stream, and so that also gives you an indication of just how much time it takes to do a painting well. And if you're watching this on the replay, of course, I should have said this up front, that you can turn the speed up. You can turn the speed way, way up. I'm going to stand up and take a look at this, because I think that this is going to start to look really fantastic here. I'm confident that it's going to be a good painting. I'm going to put that over there, and this here is 999 Art Night. 999 Show Art Night. 999 is an angel number. And yeah, there we are. I don't want this paint to go to waste, so I'll pull out that other thing. Oh, anyways, that's all I got for tonight. And I wanted to thank everyone who pushed the like and subscribe button. I wanted to thank Roots and Waves for being here and being my moderator for a little bit. For Crazy Ender coming on in. And for Thomas at Tarot Your Way. And for everyone else who's just watching along, thank you for supporting my channel, and have a wonderful rest of your night. And if I don't see you again until next week, have a wonderful week ahead of you. Bye-bye.